Hello, everyone, and welcome to Tabor Talks. It's been a while. What was it? Last week I did a video. As I explained before, I usually do my videos outside on my porch, and in the wintertime, it's really tough. As you can see, there's really crappy lighting, and there's just so much going on. I haven't really been covering the issues too closely. There's just so much great stuff out there anyway. And in a nutshell, this administration is going to collapse. Did you hear Carville say within 30 days? I don't know about that. But what we really have to hope for is this infighting, this MAGA infighting continuing. We all know about the local town halls in deep red states, Georgia and Oklahoma. Like, people are outraged about all these Doge cuts and everything, so on and so forth. There's going to be a civil war. And even in Florida, Ron DeSantis, there's a lot of drama going on there. You know, DeSantis and Trump do not like each other. And about that seat there, I'll get into that more. So, oh, and by the way, oh my God, this is on another note, not political. I see here Gene Hackman was found dead. I was a big, giant Gene Hackman fan. Poseidon Adventure, The French Connection, on and on and on. Hoosiers, he's an absolute icon, legend. 95 years old. His wife Betsy, 63, and her dog found dead. It looks like they've been dead for a couple of days. Okay. By the way, I'm going to start doing other stuff besides politics. You know, like human interest story on that. This is a very tragic, horrible thing. But, you know, it's kind of other stuff. And I do have another channel called Tabor Talking Yanks. And by the way, this winter's almost over. The first game, the Yanks, March 27th. So I'll talk about that more if anyone's interested in baseball. Tabor Talking Yanks. All right. So I want to talk about something kind of funny. This whole notion that the MAGA is the alpha party or Donald Trump is a MAGA. And I've done a slew of videos talking about how much of a pussy Trump is, you know, and it really is funny because it really triggers MAGA. I don't know why. Well, I do know why. I know psychology 101. But as we know, you know, Donald Trump is a big pussy. In fact, I don't know that this matters. Did you know that Donald Trump has never had a street fight in his life? Like, just go back. He admitted it on those brothers podcasts, you know, the two bros there. He's never had a street fight. I know it's silly and stupid, whatever. But the thing and the notion that this guy is an alpha male is absolutely laughable. Just look at the fucking guy, an obese guy with that weird body. And I always say, like, he's built like a, you know, like a potato, you know, he's got, you know, the narrow shoulders down, childbearing hits, a big fat ass, and you know, skinny arms, skinny little tiny arms, and like baby hands. Like, you see these pictures of his like literally his hand is like, look at I got big hands, but Trump, I'm not kidding it, like it fit in here. It's got a little baby thumb like this, and are all old and wrinkled and disgusting. And by the way, I'll talk about this more in future videos, and I know it's all over the internet, but Trump is sick. What is this? Take a look at this hand, and look at that disgusting, oozy, gross. Oh, look at that fucking hand, even without the bruise. Oh, how could any woman be with this guy? I don't care how much money you have, how much money or power you have. This guy is one of the most disgusting inside, but outside, he's the ugliest motherfucker I've ever seen. He's so gross. All right. Okay. So speaking of alpha male, the whole MAGA party, I'm going to show you this clip from David Pakman, and he breaks it down. I think it's a really nice clip, and it's basically what I've been saying, what we all know in a nutshell. Watch, and I'll talk in a minute.
The strong, independent, self-assured leader who never backs down, doesn't whine, certainly doesn't cry when things don't go his way. At least that's what Trump supporters claim to value. But let's be real. When you actually look at Donald Trump and his loyal base, what you see is the opposite of self-proclaimed alpha energy. What you see is a masterclass in beta male behavior. And today we're going to break it down. Now, I want to start with Trump himself. Donald Trump, the self-proclaimed tough guy, spent his entire presidency trying to project an image of strength. But what do we honestly see when we look at the guy? We see a guy who throws tantrums on X, and Truth Central whenever anybody criticizes him. We see an obese, unathletic guy who lacks physical strength. We see a man who refused to accept the results of the 2020 election, not because he had evidence, but because his fragile snowflake ego couldn't handle losing. And instead of manning up, the way MAGA likes to say, and conceding like every other damn president in modern history, he threw a years-long tantrum, filed dozens of frivolous lawsuits, and incited a violent insurrection. Is that an alpha move? No. That's the behavior of a spoiled little kid who didn't get his way. And then we move from Trump to the Republican Party, also self-proclaimed alphas. Remember that at one point, the Republican Party claimed to stand for family values and fiscal responsibility and strong foreign policy against authoritarians and dictators. I've almost forgotten about it because the moment Trump came along, they threw those principles out the window because they're terrified of him. They're terrified of his base. They're terrified of his Twitter rants. And as recently we have heard, they are terrified of Elon Musk bankrolling primary challengers against them if they step out of line. Is that alpha behavior? So instead of standing up to Trump, they capitulate to his every whim. And nothing says strong leadership like cowering in the corner in fear of a guy who can't even spell correctly in his social media posts, after all. We then go to foreign policy. There was a time when the Republican Party prided itself on standing up to dictators and defending democracy. Did they do it in ways I agreed with? No, but it's what they prided themselves on. And now Trump and his supporters are practically begging Ukraine to surrender to Vladimir Putin. They've turned America first into America alone. They've abandoned our allies, and they love these authoritarian regimes. Why? Because Trump admires strong men like Putin. Trump knows that they are the alpha image Trump aspires to, and his followers are too busy simping for their dear leader to notice the irony of it. Nothing says alpha like cheering a dictator while wearing a "Don't Tread on Me" shirt and a MAGA hat, right? And then finally, there's the victim mentality, the constant victimhood. Trump supporters love to talk about how us snowflakes on the left can't handle opposing viewpoints. But have you ever seen a group more obsessed with playing victim? They're terrified of change. They're terrified of minorities. They're terrified of anything that challenges their worldview. And meanwhile, they go cancel culture everywhere while they try to ban books that trigger them. They whine about wokeism while clutching pearls over a rainbow flag. And they claim to be patriots while undermining democracy. Folks, this is not alpha behavior. This is snowflake insecurity masquerading as strength. And finally, we can't forget the ultimate beta move, blindly following a leader who doesn't care about you. Trump spent his entire life screwing over workers and dodging taxes and exploiting anyone he could for personal gain. And yet his supporters treat him like he's some kind of messiah. Why? Because they've tied their identities to him. They've staked their fragile egos in his success. And when he loses, they can't handle it. Instead of accepting reality, they retreat into conspiracy theories and alternate realities. It's not strength, it's delusion. At the end of the day, Trump and his supporters are the opposite of the alphas that they claim to be. They're insecure, they're reactive, they are desperate for validation from their orange leader. They try to project strength, but they crumble at the slightest criticism. And meanwhile, politically, they say they value freedom, but they cheer for authoritarianism. They talk a big game about winning, but they can never handle losing. So the next time you hear a Trump supporter talking about alpha males, just remember, when Trump won in November, we on the left said, hey, you know what? He won. We don't like it. We don't agree with it. It's not who we would have chosen, but he won.
Exactly.
That's the alpha behavior.
Exactly.
That's not what you are seeing from them. The betas are the ones who need a reality TV star to tell them what to think. And they're all over on the other side.
I mean, just absolutely spot on. Thank you very much, David Pakman. Your assessment is just so obvious. It's just, they're a joke. Mega, I always say SEC. No, not Security and Exchange Commission. SEC Stupid, evil, cringe, dork. They're fucking dorks. They're weirdo, cringy dorks. All right. So make sure you like and subscribe. It helps with the algorithm. Spread it around. Peace, everyone. We're going to get through this thing, and Mega's going to destroy each other. All right.